guys, it's me Zoe, and today I have something very amazing to talk about, and that is season 4 of Orange is the New Black. Oh my gosh, it was so good. So if you have not watched season 4 of Orange is the New Black or any of Orange is the New Black, stop this video, do not continue watching, because this is going to be spoiler filled. And if you've never watched it, you should definitely watch it because it's one of my favorite TV shows and it's so good. Today I really want to talk about season 4 because I finished it in 5 days. None of my friends or family had finished it yet. I had absolutely nobody to talk about this with, so I just need to let all of this built up emotion out into a video. I'm gonna go through what I thought were pros to this season, what I thought were the cons to this season, and just overall how I felt about this season. Let me take out this gum because this is gonna distract me. I personally love looking up reviews for TV shows and movies. I just like seeing other people's perspective on things that I love. Even if they don't have the same views that I do, I just think it's really cool to see what other people think. So I have very strong opinions on this season, and it doesn't mean that my views and opinions are going to define the season. Don't get upset if you don't agree. This is just what I think. It's okay because most of my opinions for this season are really good. I do believe that season 4 is the best season yet. I say this, I know, after every single season, as I'm sure everyone does, because it leaves you with that cliffhanger. You're eager to watch the next season. You have to wait an entire year. Not to mention, you probably binge watch the entire season in like 2 days. I'm gonna start with the pros first because I want to start this video off on a super good note. And then I'll get into the cons, because there aren't as many of the cons, there are a lot of pros, so let's get into those. What I love most about Orange is the New Black is they really try to expand on a huge variety of characters. They don't just stick to a couple of main characters. Pretty much everyone in the show is a main character, which I really like because it makes the show very diverse. It gives each episode a lot of flavor. I really liked the people that they decided to pinpoint this season. They, of course, chose Poussey or Washington, which I will get into later. Oh my gosh. They also did Crazy Eyes or Suzanne. It was really nice to learn a lot more of her backstory because I've always been a little bit interested in how she ended up in Lynchfield and what exactly got her there, and just her whole backstory I've always been interested in. They also went more into Soso's background, which personally I'm not a humongous fan of Soso, but it was really cool to learn about her backstory as well. They went more into Healy's background with his mom and his family and why he is so sentimental towards certain inmates. That was really nice to get a more full circle on Healy. In continuation with Healy, they also went into Lolly's backstory, which she was introduced last season in season 3. She was just kind of a mysterious character for me. I had no idea really what to expect for her. So to learn that she was on the streets, that she has huge mental issues, that she basically had nobody in her life taking care of her, looking out for her. That was kind of an interesting twist to learn about her. And the fact that her and Healy kind of connected this season, I thought that was really cool that the show did that. And that is one of the other pros that I liked for this season. They developed a lot of new relationships in this season. Not, you know, always romantic relationships, more like friendships and bonds. So I thought that was really cool that they mixed it up a little bit and didn't just stick with the same groups of people that they have with the previous seasons. So one of my favorite friendships that developed this season was Tasty's and Caputo's. I personally really like Caputo. I think he is kind of a wuss sometimes, but I think his intentions are always good. He really does care about the inmates in the prison and everyone's well-being. He just doesn't follow through with a lot of his goals that I would really like to see, so hopefully that starts to happen in newer seasons. But I really like to see him and Tasty's relationship develop. I thought it was really funny, really cute, and it just brought out a whole new side of Tasty that I haven't seen before. It was cool to see her passionate about her new job as his secretary and just see her in a whole new position in the show. I think that with them focusing on more characters, it just brought the show to life more for me. It was really refreshing not to see so much Piper this season. I just think she's so self-centered and it can really drag the show. And I know she's technically the main character of the show, but she's just not my personal favorite character. And it was just really nice to see the spotlight taken off of her and Alex together for a little bit. Even though Alex was a big part of the season, it was nice to see Alex separated from Piper, and Alex's issues were brought more to life this season, and more people were involved in Alex's situation, and it wasn't just Alex and Piper. To see the show drift away from all of their romantic relationships and really focus on the plot this season was really nice and really refreshing, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I feel like this season really had me on the edge of my seat every single episode. Yes, some episodes were slower than others. I really do feel like I was eagerly flipping through episodes this season. So a lot of random things did happen this season, and a lot of them had a huge shock value. Alex's whole situation with the guard, who was actually a hunt man, that whole situation was crazy. Pusey's ending was insane. Continuing on that, I really liked how they ended the season with Pusey's look at the camera. I just think that was a really nice way to end the season. There was a lot of shock value with all of the characters, but I really appreciated how they wrapped up the season with Pusey's story. And I feel like a lot of these random events could have been super overwhelming and not tie together at all, but I feel like somehow everything did tie together in a way. Another thing I really liked about this season, and what makes me love Orange is the New Black so much, is that they really brought to life a lot of real life prison issues. Recidivism and behind bars depression, violence, abuse, lack of education, overcrowding. I feel like those were all stressed this season. It was really nice to see that they made this show very realistic to what's actually going on. So I really appreciate that, and I'm so thankful for that. And it just made me love the show even more. So those are all of my pros for this season. I'm going to very quickly touch on the cons because I really don't want to bash this season all that much. I really did think that there was a lot of random things going on. Like I said, it did all tie together well, but I do feel like there were a couple of random things that I just wasn't crazy about. The ending with Daya was kind of all this stuff happened. I felt like they needed to create a cliffhanger for the end of the season, so they had Daya in the season holding up a gun to one of the guards who was a complete asshole. Yes, I don't like that guard, and yes, I want him gone. And do I think that Daya somehow ending up with a gun, all of the inmates rushing out of the prison, was a completely realistic scenario? Absolutely not. I thought that was a bit rushed and kind of a little too random for me, but it did leave the season with a cliffhanger, and it did want me to know what happens next. Speaking of Daya, I really do like how her mom was released. I think that would have been the last person I would have thought of to be released first out of all the inmates, so it was really cool to see that. Another random thing, and just a person I wasn't really fond of this season, was Judy King. I like how she had that whole relationship with Pusey, and how she brought out an amazing side of her, and that she would have had an awesome life once she was released, and that she was more than willing to help her out. I really, really enjoyed that. I liked seeing her inspire the inmates and show them cooking and blah, 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 blah. But I just personally don't really think she fit in that well with the show or this season. That's just my opinion. I just feel like a lot of the things that happened with her were a little too random. And in specific, the threesome towards the end of the season was just way too out there and way too off topic for me. I thought it was kind of funny though that she is resembling Martha Stewart and Martha Stewart's whole situation, but she just wasn't my favorite, so I really do hope this is the last I'll see of Judy King. And the last thing that I really did not like about this season, I feel like it's one of the most obvious things to not like about this season, and that is that Pusey died. Like, why? She was one of my favorite characters. I feel like every season she brings everyone together. She's always a good middle ground character. She's always funny. I loved her story, her whole backstory with how she was in Germany, and just her passion and her eagerness to cook and just make everybody happy and make everyone laugh. And I did really like seeing her and So together. It was so cute. And I just really liked, they built her up so much this season, and just to see her leave was just heartbreaking, like completely heartbreaking. Like, I'm not even kidding you. Once I finished the season, it was like somebody close to me died. I felt like the way she died was so what? Like, did you really need to put every pound of your body weight on top of her when she wasn't even trying to resist you? Come on. Come on. That really was the worst part of the season by far. And I'm sure everyone agrees with that. Holy crap, I can't believe Pusey is gone. That is all of my thoughts and views for the season. I am very curious if you agree or disagree with me, so please feel free to comment down below. Let's keep this conversation going. Let me know what you think is going to happen next season, because I have a lot of thoughts on that, and I definitely want to hear what other people have to say too. Thank you so much for giving this video a watch, and I will hopefully see you all in my next video. Bye guys! The animals, trap, 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 till the cages spoke.